Hi guys, today we are taking a look at War for Cybertron Kingdom Autobot Jackpot with sights. This was a Amazon and Hasbro Pulse exclusive, which would explain why this box does not have a window in it. This was not meant to be sold on Walmart or Target store shelves. This was sold exclusively online, direct to collectors. So on the front of the box we see the various logos: Transformers, Generations, War for Cybertron Kingdom, Golden Disc Collection, and the names of the two figures included in this set, Jackpot and Sights. This large shape here, for those not familiar with the mythology, is representative of the Golden Disc. The Golden Disc was a MacGuffin from the original Beast Wars Transformers animated series, and it was reused again in the War for Cybertron Kingdom Netflix animated series. So that's what that represents. On the back of the box we see a picture of what's included. This is Jackpot, who is a recolor and remold of Studio Series 86 Jazz, and Sights, who is a recolor of the Battlemaster Taraxodon. So out of the box, we can see that this is part of Hasbro's new green packaging initiative. No plastic whatsoever, just a plain piece of cardboard with the figures and accessories tied down with those fiber ties, and the instruction sheet. The characters of Jackpot and Sights originally appeared in 1990 as part of the tail end of the Generation 1 series. Originally, Jackpot was an Action Master. Those were the non-transforming Transformers. Action Masters were 3.75 tall figures with O-ring construction similar to the G.I. Joe or Real American Hero figures of the time. The Action Masters would be packed in with smaller partner figures that would transform into weapons, or vehicles that would transform into bases and such, but the Action Masters themselves did not transform. It was one of the last gimmicks that Hasbro tried to keep the Generation 1 line alive, but ultimately Generation 1 ended with the 1990 series, and I don't think Action Masters were very well received at the time, being that if you bought a toy called Transformers, you wanted the robot to transform. It was expected at that point. And when Hasbro removed the transformation gimmick, it didn't go over too well. So Jackpot has what I think is standard articulation for modern Transformers. Head swivel, ball jointed shoulders, bicep swivel, bendable elbows, bendable knees, ball jointed hips. A little bit of articulation in the feet, mostly down to how the figure transforms. Nice paint on them. This is a recreation of what the original Jackpot looked like, the black and yellow with a little bit of orange and a blue weapon. Now I can see that there's a little bit of a molding error in Jackpot's head, where the two halves of this head don't quite line up. Apparently that's common in every Jackpot that was produced, from what I've read online. And he's got his Autobot symbol on his chest, which will become the hood of his car. The original Sights in Generation 1 was a robot hawk or falcon, something like that, a bird of prey. This new Sights is a Pteranodon simply because they already had this mold available, so they just recolored him to look like the original Sights. Close enough, I guess. He's got a little bit of articulation in his wings, feet, and neck, so you could put him in a flying pose rather than a sitting pose. And with a few twists and turns, you can turn Sights into this axe-type melee weapon. So Jackpot has the option of shooting his enemies from a distance with his rifle, or getting up close with Sights. And you also get this attachment for sights. I guess you wouldn't call this a blast effect, it's more of an impact effect that you can attach if you're hammering down on your enemies. So transformation to car mode was pretty basic. And when I say basic, I mean that I didn't have to look at the instructions to do it. There's only so many ways you can turn a robot into a car, and when you've done it several hundred times, it kind of becomes old hat. Nice vehicle mode. Since it is a repaint of Jazz, it does kind of sort of look like a Porsche. It's not an official Porsche mode, but it's close enough that they don't have to pay licensing. The one thing I do notice about this vehicle mode is that the clips on the front wheels kind of stand out like a sore thumb. So I may take a black paint marker and just sort of paint in the tips of those so they don't stand out so much. His rifle does fit on a post on his hood. And the windows are a nice translucent orange. And that does look surprisingly good against the black body parts. So there's a peg on sights where you can also fit him in that peg hole on the top of the vehicle. I'm just noticing now that the handle on the axe for sights also resembles the barrel of a gun. So I guess you could use sights either way, as a long-range weapon or as an up-close melee weapon. So there's just a quick look at Golden Disc Collection Jackpot with sights. I picked this figure up, one, because I really like the colors on it, and two, because it's the first time this character has been released as an actual transforming figure. And it was also a good value. I picked this up from Amazon for $22.99. Normally, Hasbro would sell only the deluxe figure for $22.99. The Battle Masters figures, like sights, would be sold separately at $5.99. So with this release, you're getting $29 worth of product for $23. Quite rare value when it comes to Hasbro these days. So that's it for this time. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.